Do you know that Beethoven composed many of his most famous works after he had gone completely deaf?
Rubbish! Rubbish! It's more like it.
Good evening. Good evening, and welcome to Broaden Your Mind.
Yes, welcome. And the first question is, how do we get down to ground level?
Simple. There's a staircase.
So there's a staircase.
I designed it myself, actually.
It's awfully good. It's awfully
you like
good.
it,
I like it, yes.
So, without further ado, we'll get down off here and start our learning program.
We'll be with you in a moment. Well designed, eh?
It's perfectly simple and logical. We go down,
Yes.
and round, and down, and down. Where is it?
I take it all back. It's perfect.
Hey. How did you get down there?
Well, it's perfectly simple. You just go down and round.
How?
You stay where you are. I'll show you.
I'll meet halfway. I'll go down and round.
Oh dear.
Well, we do seem to be having a little technical trouble with the staircase. So we'll start with our first topic, which is money. Money, the root of all evil, with branches in every high street. But although coins and banknotes are everyday things to us now, it hasn't always been like that. Millions of years ago, there was no internationally acceptable system of currency.
Nothing changes.
Yes, it's all right if you've got money in the bank. But is your money really safe there?
That's all there is.
Right.
Well, now, I'd like to open an account, please.
Now, let's take a look at the history of money. In prehistoric times, the early caveman used to count his wealth in the number of dinosaurs' teeth he owned. But as the dinosaurs were extremely fierce, most cavemen were rather poor, which was why they lived in caves. The dinosaurs, on the other hand, were, of course, extremely rich and lived in luxury flats. Throughout the ages, various systems of currency persisted. The American Indian, for example, used pork chops as currency. With them, they bought American dollars which they grilled and ate. In fact, until quite recently, the South Sea Islanders used melons as currency. But this was discontinued as they jammed up the slot machines. Nowadays, of course, we use money which is light to carry and easy to negotiate.
12 and 6, Club.
Fine, thank you.
10 quid? Ain't you got nothing smaller? All I've got is tens myself.
No, I'm afraid not, no.
That means I still owe you £9, 7 and 6.
Yes.
Tell you what, you take me watch and we quits.
Right. Fair enough. Thank you, cabby.
Here, hang on a tick. That's a 20 quid watch.
Oh, so that means I now owe you £10, 12 and 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. Tell you what, this bowler hat's worth 2 guineas. You can have that. The umbrella's worth 30 shillings. That means I now owe you £7 and 6pence. Yes. How do you feel about the jacket?
Nice, very nice.
8 guineas?
8 guineas the jacket. Splendid. That means, all in all, I still owe you some change.
Change, do you?
Tell you what, you take my cap, it's worth 25 bob, and then, my jacket's worth, what, 3 quid?
3 quid, fair enough.
Got to be square, it has no better days. That means, all in all, you owe me £2, 17 and 6pence.
You mean it's, got to be,
I reckon.
yes.
Mine are worth, what, £3, 2 and 6?
Yes.
Yours are worth,
Oh, but,
6 quid?
6 quid. fair
Right,
enough.
that's smashing. So I got those inside out. I'll turn them around.
It's all right. No deal next.
There we are.
People don't notice.
No, they don't notice these things. No, we're square. Here.
What?
Hang on a tick.
What's that?
There's my wallet and the jacket. 300 quid in there. What can you offer?
300 quid. Well, that's my house there. I got £1,000 down on that.
That's it then. You take the cab. That's worth 700 and no more said, right?
Fair enough. It's a pleasure doing business with a gentleman.
Well, I'll be getting along in now. Cheerio.
Thanks, Gov. You're real tough. Wait a minute. Oi! Typical, isn't it? 12 and 6 on the clock and no flaming tit.
Stick 'em up.
Hey, wait a minute, young man. I was first. And I'm down with the green stuff, lady.
Hello, this is me, Penny Wise. Today in Great Britain, the money we use is made by the Royal Mint and by Fingers Lamont of the Balls Pond Road.
All right, Lamont, we know you're in there. Open up in the name of the law. All right, Lamont, the game's up. We know you may be the finest forger in the country, but this time you've... He's done it again!
And when you've made your money, what do you do with it? Well, most people put it in a bank, whether it's a big national bank or the humble piggy bank.
Good morning. I'd like to make a withdrawal.
Some people make their money the hard way, while others just inherit it.
To my son, Michael, I leave a nice little windfall. 2 pounds of apples. To my son-in-law, Edward, who now becomes the family breadwinner, I leave a loaf. And the rest of my money and the bulk of my estate I leave to my old friend and lawyer, Henry Figgis. That's you, Henry.
Sign here.
Certainly. There we are.
After all these years.
Oh, good morning, sir. Can I help you? Yes, I'd like some small change, please.
And finally, we'd like to end this survey on money by taking a look at the problems of foreign exchange rates and the ways in which British television programs have to adapt to suit world markets.
Yes, right. Leave it to me, Commissioner.
Gee, what is it, Mark?
Well, Chuck, it appears that some burglars have robbed the old lady of Threadneedle Street. Or, as you Americans would say, some hoods have pulled a heist at the Bank of England.
Gee, and did they get much of a haul?
The loot, or haul as you Americans call it, amounted to 30,000 quid.
Quid?
Yes, 30,000 pounds. About 72,000 of your American dollars.
Holy smokes! Do you hear that, Fifi? $72,000! Wow!
Pardon, Monsieur Chuck. How you say that in francs?
734,000. That's new francs, of course.
Sacre bleu!
Let me see! That means 287,100 Deutschmarks! Gott in Himmel! Hey, Giuseppe! Have you heard about this 223,800,000 lira robbery? Mamma mia!
I think you all know Inspector Tafuni of Tokyo CID.
What's all this about a lobby?
They got away with 794,000 yen.
Good grief!
Hello, Commissioner. Yes. Good news. They caught the burglars and got back the money. Every penny of it.
Penny?
Yes, that's about one of your American cents, 6 lira, 0.03 yen, 0.04 Deutschmarks, 0.05 francs. Oh, and about 17 of your banana leaves. Oh, hello. Well, now, tonight we're going to be talking about our old friend here, the salmon. Certainly a big one. Well, to chat about the salmon tonight to us, here is my old friend, Ted Miller. Good evening, Ted. And it's a great pleasure to have you on the program.
Thank you, Vernon. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Well, you're going to tell us about salmon, aren't you, Ted? Well, now, Ted, let's get down to business. The salmon is a tricky fish, to quote the words of Isaac Walton, the complete angler. Complete. So, tell us, Ted, where's the best place to find salmon?
Well, I always reckon the best place to find salmon is Robinson's Fish Parlour, the Crescent North Shield. They're delicious.
Well, that's as well may be. But why not join Ted and I for a really good day's salmon fishing on the River Dove?
Here we are, and this is Ted preparing his tackle. As Ted sets up his tackle, you can see that, like most fishermen, he keeps his flies in his hat, which can be awkward at times. What line are you using here, Ted?
Well, I'm using electrical fuse wire with a breaking strain of 3 1/4 tons.
And for bait, what are you using?
Well, I'm using 2.5 pounds of dynamite with an electric decimator.
Oh, and that gives you the best results.
Yes, I've killed a lot of fish this way.
Well, that's one up to Ted. But I prefer to stick to the older methods.
and I'm crawling up to the bank now so that the sharp-eyed salmon don't see me. Well, it's taken me 3 hours to get this close, but I don't think they've spotted me yet.
Now, about this time of day, the fish begin to feed, leaping high out of the water to catch flies. This is the time we anglers wait for. Yes, you know, half the joy of angling is the wonderful characters you meet on this river in pursuit of fish.
Did he pass this way? The great white whale, was he here? The great white monster, Moby Dick, I must pass, hunt him to the grave. Ah, the great white whale.
Well, now, I don't seem to be having much success here with my Devon mayfly. So I'm going to change it for Dr. Fazakerly's fancy. That's this one here. Well, now, that really does make me angry. That's not a sportsman's light weight of fish at all. Don't you agree, Tad? Well, this is fishing in comfort, all right. Though you do have to be careful where you knock out your pipe.
Well, the fishing's over and it's time to relax. Well, Ted, we've had a good day's angling.
Yes, Vernon, we certainly have.
And I think you'll agree with me when I say that we've definitely found that the salmon is a tricky fish.
And when you're dealing with the salmon, you've got to keep your wits about you.
That's very, very true, Vernon.
Well, hello again. And now we take a look at heroes.
Yes, all the world's great heroes have had at least one fault. For example, Alfred the Great couldn't cook.
Christopher Columbus discovered America.
Yes, he did. And Nelson only had one eye, one arm, and Lady Hamilton.
Here's a song from Bill Oddie about one of the greatest folk heroes of our time, who's almost too perfect for words.
The men that ladies swoon about seem to come from an age gone by. But we've found one they can't do without, and for him they would gladly die. He's a great and gracious lover man, and he's stolen their hearts away, and will tolerate no other man to honor and obey. We love Jimmy Young, over the land his praise be sung. Mothers are always to call from Jimmy Young. We love Jimmy Young. 6 million housewives can't be wrong. Glory be to the BBC for Jimmy Young.
What's the recipe today, Jim?
Hello, Jim here, and we'll be leaping about TTT, GPO, MA, DSO, and bar. And today's recipe is for sweet, sticky goo, as usual. So off we jolly well go, toot sweet forthwith, and even sooner than that. First, I beat the eggs. Then I whip the cream. Slip it in the oven. Take it out, just the way I like it. Overdone. But never mind, one Jim-type song coming up right now.
We love Jimmy Young.
6 million house, don't got me wrong.
Lordy be,
For Jimmy Young. Let me hear the world. And let me sing
Jimmy Young. 6 million housewives can't be wrong. Glory be to the babies in
I don't think that I am any different in any way from the ordinary man in the street. In fact, very often, my peasants come up to me and say, "You're no different from us, you old git."
The British aristocracy, a handful of families who've held wealth and power for generations. Yet how have they managed to stay on top? Well, basically, of course, it's a question of breeding. And here's a man who knows all about that, Tom Parkins.
I've been breeding champion pedigree aristocrats here at my stately kennels now for over 20 years. And as any top breeder can tell you, you've got to feed them right. That's why I feed my aristocrats with pedigree champagne in caviar jelly. Come on, boy.
Well, years of breeding show their mark. The young aristocrat inherits etiquette and social grace so that he's never at a loss for the right thing to say.
This, then, is the aristocracy of today. The process of natural selection began centuries ago, and tonight we see part of the pedigree of one such noble family, the Staveners.
Yes, well, of course, my ancestors play a great part in the history of this country, you know. This is a picture of the first Earl. He actually murdered the princes in the Tower, for which he was given the title. Before that, of course, the family had mainly been cattle thieves and sheep stealers and murderers and cutthroats and dentists. This is the 6th Earl here, the Stavener of India, they called him. In the uprising of 1858, he and his relief column wiped out 2,000 natives at Chandripur, massacred the lot of them.
What, unarmed?
Oh, no, they all had swords and spears. The natives were unarmed. This is the fifth Earl.
Oh, now, was he a soldier too?
No, he was an industrialist. In the Lancashire cotton dispute of 1862, I think it was, he and his vigilantes mowed down 300 strikers and their wives. It's a splendid thing. I shall have seen that.
Who's this here?
This is Daddy. This is Daddy. He mowed down the Irish rebels in 1905.
I see. And what about this one here?
Well, that's the black sheep of the family, I'm afraid. That's Uncle Roderick. We don't really speak about him.
I see. What did he do?
He invented penicillin.
Proud of the past, yes. But will it all come to an end? When the tired aristocrat relaxes and puts aside his coronet, how does he view his successors and their role in the future?
These your long-haired youngsters of today.
Miserable bunch.
Don't know how to amuse themselves.
When we were their age, we were fighting in France.
Yeah. You don't see any of these modern youngsters fighting in France today.
We don't. No, that's because they don't have to make their own amusement like we do.
They're spoiled. All this cinema, television,
Sex!
sex.
We never had any of that.
Never
Never had any of that.
Oh.
Not till we were married. Then every night, off to the cinema.
Had to amuse ourselves. Not like these modern youngsters.
We didn't have any gramophones.
No. Had to play our records on the sewing machine.
We had musical evenings.
Whole family used to join in.
Father at the piano,
Mother on the violin.
Miles Davis on trumpet.
By Billie Holiday.
Tell that to these modern youngsters, they'd laugh in your face.
Yes.
Oh, what? I must be off.
Where are you going, Buffy?
Oh, I'm off to see nudes in the sun.
I think I'll come with you.
Damn sight more fun than going to the pictures.
Well, that's it. And now it's quiz time.
And here's this week's problem. This is the Atkins family. A, B, C, and D Atkins. Now, C Atkins is married to D Atkins. C and D Atkins have a son, E Atkins. Now, B and C Atkins are brothers. And B Atkins is married to A. But B dies. And A marries E. But E has a younger brother, F. A divorces E and marries F. A and F now have a son, G. Now, if A is C's ex-sister-in-law, and F is B's nephew, and also the son of D, and B is A's uncle by marriage, and remember that C and D are still married, then here is the question. Who does G marry?
Well, that's all for this week. I hope we'll see you next week when we'll be doing our shows live from Wilmot Scrubs.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.